All right, y'all. A serious talk about Call of Duty.
It's no secret that Black Ops 6 is literally dead. No one is playing this
Hell
game.
yeah.
But why is that? Today, I'm going to go over a few reasons why I think Black Ops 6 failed and what I think Black Ops 7 can do differently to bring us all back to the game we once loved. Let's dive in. Okay, we're going to tackle the big issue right away, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put a picture up on your screen, and you're going to look at it, and I'm just going to ask you one simple question. What game is this
What the fuck, man? Look at this picture. This is... They can't keep getting away with this. Look at this
screen, and you're going to look at
this picture right here. What the actual hell, dude?
and I'm just going to ask you one simple question. What game is this from? And now, obviously, this is a Call of Duty channel. I'm going to be up front. It's not a trick question. It's from Call of Duty. This specifically is from Warzone, but it is Black Ops 6 Warzone. And a lot of this is carrying over to the multiplayer. We're going to really focus multiplayer on this video because Warzone, I think at this time, it just needs to be its own thing. Let people do their thing over there.
100%. I really hope they... It's a long video. We got 25 minutes. They do need to make Warzone its own thing because Warzone is really what's driving all of this like nonsense in Call of Duty.
Now, I also want to ask you another question. What era or what year was Black Ops 6 in? What is the campaign of this game? Well, it's 1980s. And I think if you're playing this multiplayer, you've completely forgotten it's the 1980s. You don't know what year it is. You honestly probably don't know what planet you're on. So let me talk about the lack of identity.
Listen, the next call, if they want to be taken seriously, they just need to call it Call of Duty Multiverse. Cause look at all the different shit they got in this game, dude.
They have thrown every single collab out there in the books. Whether
no, they haven't.
It was Ninja Turtles, whether it was Beavis and Butthead, whether it was Squid Game.
They ain't got no Dora the Explorer skin, so watch out, buddy.
Games. I just don't think that works for Call of Duty. I think that they could probably show me the stats of how many people bought Beavis and Butthead skins and I'd be sick to my stomach. But how many people are you turning off? You're making that money from the game, but are you losing a core bunch of people that used to play this game all the time that they no longer play it because
they don't care because they're not the ones spending money. They don't care about the core. They don't care about your average lifelong dedicated Call of Duty fan because they're not spending $1,000 as they might be. But if you're not spending a whole lot of money on Call of Duty skins, they don't care about you. All they care about are the big spenders staying, playing Call of Duty, buying skins. And until the game is so dead, until it has completely sealed, last nail in the coffin, Call of Duty is going to remain down the path it's on.
They're like, I'm tired of shooting Beavis and Butthead. We're playing a 1980s shooter. I don't know what you would call the word, but they've just kind of it's copying Fortnite. The battle pass system, the collab skins, the events. And they used to do it in a way that made sense to Call of Duty. And now it's just like, we don't want that in our game. But I don't mean to sound like an old head, you know, screaming at the clouds. But to me, what made Call of Duty memorable back in the day was when the entire game encompassed an era of what you were doing. So let's go back to COD 4. Let's go back to World at War. COD 4 is a modern shooter. You play the campaign. It's this modern tech, the whole thing. And then the multiplayer, it felt very similar. You were in a modern settings, the buildings, all that stuff. You're in overseas. It matched. And then you go to World at War. And you know what? The single player, it's gritty. It's gory.
Damn.
Well, you better believe that's exactly what the multiplayer.
Man, World at War was such a vibe, dude. It was such a vibe. And it was that way because it was all uniform timeline. You know, you didn't have Beavis and Butthead running around here.
There was. And even the zombies took it a step further in terms of eerie and just weird. And just that you're like, ooh, I'm a little tense right now. And that's what that brought. And I feel like now everything's just this whole jumbled mess of stuff rather than let's make a unified project and let's make people love this game. I think you can kind of go nuts with the guns. I don't.
Yeah, the skins, the gun skins aren't even really a problem. There's always been like gun skins, and they've gotten more extreme over time, but it's not really something that is going to be like, I'm not playing this game because of these damn gun skins. You know what I mean? Or something that turns somebody off.
I think anybody has a problem with blueprints being weird. And, you know, I think back again to the Modern Warfare 19 Saw with it was the AMAX where it had the red lasers. I think we're okay with that. I think your skins, I think back to COD 4 Remastered. This was a game that didn't have customization, but they added it. And when they added it, they did a pretty good job.
So this is a remaster, and Call of Duty is never going to go back to basic, as they say, the basic bitch skin, because people are not going to be shucking out money because they're not a character. Like, we all know why people are buying Beavis and Butthead, right? People are not going to be like, oh man, ghillie suit, let me spend $15 on this ghillie suit character. You know what I mean? This whole thing here is completely gone. Call of Duty is not going to bring that back. That's why I think they just need to separate Warzone and Call of Duty. Because Warzone needs to be its own game entirely.
Now, I know some people didn't like that they added it, but they got to make...
So that every time a Call of Duty comes out, you can have this game, right? Back to formula, right? You can have this game that's all uniform in its timeline, right? Keep the multiplayer basic skins if you want. I mean, I know people are going to want to buy their skins for multiplayer and everything like that, but basically the main concept of the idea is Warzone can have all this crazy shit in it, right? You can have the fast movement, speed, and everything like that, but maybe just try one time, right, to slow the damn game down in the regular Call of Duty and multiplayer, right? Do whatever you want with Warzone. Keep it going fast, keep the freaking Omni movement, but just take a regular Call of Duty back to formula. Right, keep it all uniform timeline, right? Everything like that.
Money, and they did, obviously. But if you look at the skins, if you look at the faces, nothing gets too wild outside of the realm of the game. And I quickly want to go over. I think Charlie Intel or Ghost of Hope tweeted like they are aware of this, like that people are turned off by this stuff. And I think BO6 just unfortunately was the game that they were going to try everything on. Because you got to think, Beavis and Butthead, all these are signed way before the game's even going. They're 3-4 months in advance. So that tweet was probably 3 or 4 months old. So I'm hoping that they got the point and they're going to see, okay, people didn't like this. We know it now. When we go into BO7, we're going to be aware of it. And then we're not going to be.
I can guarantee you nothing is going to change. If you look at how many people are running around with Beavis and Butthead, I was so shocked. Cause I'll see some people playing Call of Duty, and I was so shocked seeing how many people were running around with Beavis and Butthead. I was like, that's wild. Nothing is going to change.
As crazy.
And that's why I think, like, a realistic advice for Call of Duty would be to separate Call of Duty and Warzone entirely.
And I think people would like that. Okay, that's point number 1. Now let's move on to point number 2. And I think this is content. Content in general, the scope of the game. When we played Modern Warfare 3 last year, if you played it, you really, if you didn't play it, you missed a really good Call of Duty. Well, at least the multiplayer side of things. But we were eating last Call of Duty. We had a bunch of maps that were really good. We had a bunch of like fun events that happened. We had the aftermarket parts. Pretty much there was something every week, it felt like, with this game. In Black Ops 6, I feel like it's been the complete opposite. It feels like you're just scraping to try to find.
Like, I don't know if you're eating from the newer Modern Warfare 3, all right? Like,
something to do. Whether it's the maps that get added, whether it's the guns that get added, there's just not a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like there's this tug and pull with these free updates. I just talked to, me and Chopper just talked to Greg, who was a former Sledgehammer guy, and he was like, man, Call of Duty gives you a lot of stuff. And 100%
they do.
Multiplayer.
They have, he's
player campaign, zombies, every single year. It's great. But
they have a huge variety of content. You got multiplayer, single player, zombies, Warzone, right? It's like, you start to wonder, are you so spread out? Because not a single one of these are like really grab you and are entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't call a single one of those 4 really great aspects of the game. They're all just like mid to low tier.
Multiplayer wise, you can't just leave the product once you release it. Gaming is different nowadays. People need updates. They want to stay on the game. If you want us to stay on the game, you got to give us something new. And I feel like with the maps in Black Ops 6, though, it was a major issue. They were too small. I get the effort. They tried it. I don't think it worked. So
they're way too small,
the best
man.
option is to put out a bunch of maps.
I never gotten like killed off spawn so quickly in any game ever than Black Ops 6. Holy crap. I would take 3 steps and the dude would just be spawn camping you from like around the corner halfway through the map because the map is that small.
After the case, and do like Modern Warfare 3 did. I mean, the best maps in Modern Warfare 3 are the DLC maps. They're great. 6-star, all that stuff. They're phenomenal. And I feel like with Black Ops 6, the maps, I feel like we got one every 3 months and don't even get...
Which is crazy because they're talking about AI helping them with like maps and everything like that and layout. But it's like somehow, now that you have like artificial intelligence assisted map making, you're somehow slower at producing maps.
It twisted here, guys. I get it. They added the 2v2 modes or the 2v2 maps. I don't want to play a 6v6 map on a 2v2 map. I want to have a little, I want to run just a little bit before I get into a gunfight. And we'll talk about that at another point down the road here.
Yeah.
Also, let's talk about the maps. They added Grind, which is a remake. They just added Fringe.
I feel like every time there's a new Call of Duty out, I feel like they're adding Grind to it. I feel like they've re-released the same map like 4 times in 4 separate Call of Duties.
Which is one of my favorite maps of all time, and they added into season what are we at, season 4, season 5? It's like nobody's playing the game anymore. Why just save Fringe for Black Ops 7 at this point?
They're adding it in now because my new favorite word, nostalgia baiting. Hey guys, we brought back one of y'all's favorite maps. Come back and play. Hey buddy, remember when you used to play this map? Oh yeah, we got it back just for you. Yeah, come on over. Yeah, come on. Oh, we got Beavis and Butthead skin too.
So there's like a lack of
nostalgia baiting
of content to play. Now, I have a couple solutions for this.
And it's in everything. It's in games, shows, movies, everything.
I don't think it's map packs. I've thought about this more and more. I don't think map packs is a solution because at the end of the day, if you did play back in the olden times with World at War and all that, if somebody bought a map pack and then somebody didn't, it split the player base. You couldn't play with that friend until they uninstalled it or you bought it. People wouldn't do that. So that's not the answer. I think there's 2 things that we could do here. Number 1, we could do remasters up front. Okay, hear me out here on this one. If you don't think you can make the great 12 maps anymore, just take the COD mobile route. Hey, let's give them raid, standoff, hijacked at launch, and then we'll try to make like 3 or 4 really good maps over time. I'd like to say even more, and that way it's like, okay, we got good starter maps, we know they're good, and then if they're good, if you're taking your best 5 maps and giving them as seasonal content, I mean, hey, that's a win-win for everybody. We're all happy. And again, that's what Modern Warfare 3 showed that we could do. MW2 maps, everybody loved them, and then they added 4 or 5 really, really good maps. So I think that's another thing. Also, I know Splitgate has done this. Obviously, Halo has done this. Halo especially, that I've been seeing recently, they're just giving the community tools to make maps. I don't know how hard this is.
Well, Halo's always kind of done that. They've always given the community tools with Forge and everything.
Developer in the chat, feel free to tell me if it is. Why don't you just let the people work for you?
The thing is, I don't think Call of Duty can pull this off because, like I said, they already have their hands in so many cookie jars, right? They already got zombies, multiplayer, campaign, Warzone. Now imagine them trying to give you a Forge mode, right? Without it being completely full of bugs and shit.
I could tell you there are so many people out there that would love to make good maps, put them in a community playlist. Go back to Modern Warfare 3, the OG one. I mean, we got in like, didn't we get like Infected and Drop Zone and all this from literally community people making these game modes and events and all that stuff? And then they put them in the game. Like, it was a community playlist. Hey, these are the top voted things. We're going to put them in. Imagine there was a map editor and the top voted map of the week went into the pool of play. And
That's
if people
cool.
hated it, they took it out.
That'd be
If
cool.
not, they just added it. You don't got to do any work besides adding it into your game. So I think
That's actually a good idea. But I don't think Call of Duty has the resources to do that because they can barely pull off what they're barely able to pull off the same thing that they've been doing for years. So I have little to no faith that they'd be able to pull off a map editor in game like that.
that's one of my top solutions.
It's a good idea.
Let the community work for you. We want to work for you. Look at the custom paint jobs back in the day, the people that did it right.
Oh hell
They were
no!
giving ideas left and right. How
This custom paint job shit ain't ever coming back, dude. You have know the shit that they be adding to these, man. Oh no!
cool camos could look and player cards. So the community is artistic. They want to work. They want to help. Let us help. So solution, remasters in the beginning. Give us your top 5 good, top 6 maps, 6v6, and then let the community work a little bit. Let us work. We'll do it. Okay, next
Good
up
idea.
is kind of content.
It's like that Thanos final. The player base is fine. I'll do it myself.
Part 2, but this is my third point. It's game modes. Okay, so we got to stop doing this. This is what they've been doing lately. This is what all the games have been doing lately. This is what Madden has been doing lately, 2K. We're withholding these game modes at launch. And then 3 months later, we're bringing them into the game like they're a brand new thing. One of my favorite things in Modern Warfare 19, let me do my hand motion here. Modern Warfare 19, if you remember back, if you didn't know this, a bunch of people flew out to Infinity Ward and they played Gunfight. The brand new mode that MW19 and Infinity Ward introduced was Gunfight. If you never played that mode, it is so fun. It was one of my favorite things to do in that game. I was so excited when Modern Warfare 2 came out. Before it actually came out, I was actually excited to play it. And when the game launched, Gunfight wasn't even in the game.
That's
And
wild.
I just sat there and I'm like, wait a second. Something that I played.
It flew
If
you out
remember
there
back
and
in
then didn't add
MW19
it.
And even Cold War, they had like tournaments that you could do. You would win like camos and calling cards and all sorts of stuff. So they put a little effort into the game, that game mode. And when I got to MW2 to go play Gunfight, it wasn't there. And I think MW2's game modes at the beginning were very light. Like there was not many at all. So that really disappointed me. Now, eventually they did bring it into the game, and this is where they announced this brand new game mode that we're adding, and I think it was Blueprint Gunfight, so it wasn't even the same thing.
This is all the drip feed players, right? If you put your whole thing out there in the very beginning, you're not gonna have anything to drip feed and bring players that fall off back to the game. And I think this works for for companies and games that do this, but when you do it with every single game, people just stop caring. Because they're like, oh, I'm not coming back to this. Like it's the same story every time. You just drip feed player stuff. They stop coming back for it.
It was blueprints from the store that you played with, probably to try to get you to buy some of them. And I'm just like, it just doesn't feel the same. It's not the same vibe that we had in MW19. And I stopped playing Gunfight. I don't play it anymore. I think Black Ops 6, did they just add one in the chamber or they just added something? I think it was one in the chamber. I think they added that in like season 3. So a portion of the roadmap is adding something that has been in the game since 2010.
Yeah.
And it's
That's just drip feeding it, right? They're not like taking their time. Hey guys, we're creating this new game mode. It's just drip feeding old game modes into a new game.
it's marketed as something brand new. So my solution is keep it how it just give us the modes at launch. I don't think anybody's upset if you were to take that section out of the season pass and get rid of like, hey, there's no new game mode this season because you got them all at the start. Now maybe you do some fun game modes like the get higher was awesome, and I'm trying to think of another one that I.
The thing with the drip feeding though is like if you take Halo Infinite, perfect example of a game where it's like you give players very little on launch, you leave a horrible taste in their mouth, right? say you don't like, you have the content to put in the game at launch, but you decide to withhold it to, release it in a month from now, 2 months from now, 4 months from now, right? The player base, when they start to play the game on launch, are already like, what the hell? Like, where's all these modes that we just had in the last Call of Duty, or 3 Call of Duties ago? And they become frustrated and resentful for the game.
I like that they added recently, but Get Higher is the only one I can really think of right now. But so like, that's something you could go try. But even Get Higher, it never came back. Why is Get Higher not just continued on to the next game? It was made, it was a great mode, and it never came back. And I'm just like, what happened? I want to play that. Okay, so next up, I don't know if this is the proper wording for this. I'm just calling this point brain rot design. And again, this is not like a shot at any developer or anything. It's more, I kind of...
It's not a shot at any developer. It's a shot at every developer.
I want to explain to you my thought process with this one, comparing it to old Call of Duty. Now, back in the day, this is going to be like multiple things kind of tied into one thing. But back in the day, you would like camo grind, but you would kind of camo grind more casually. Like you were just playing the game as is. You were playing multiplayer. You would get headshots. The only really thing you could get to get the camo grind, again, was headshots. That's how you got the camos. It was 25, 50, 75, 100. Now, I kind of want to go 2 different ways, so I hope this makes sense because it made sense in my head.
Cook.
But first off, let's talk about map design. I watched a wonderful video by Drifter, the OG COD guy.
Hey.
He was talking about the maps in general, of how quickly you got into an engagement versus we could go to like Black Ops 2. Let's go to like Standoff. And I don't know the exact numbers. I hope this is semi close, but when you spawned in, it took you 5 to 6 seconds to find somebody and shoot, which doesn't sound like a long time, but when you
shit takes half a second now, dude.
Kind of a long time. And then in this game, it's literally like 1 second.
That time it takes to find a fight, right, changes how you interact in that fight, right? If I spawn in and I find a fight every second and a half, I'm just gonna like jump myself into the situation, throw myself in the situation, right? No regard, because like, okay, if I die, I'm like instantly in a new fight, right? But even that little bit of time, that 5 or 6 seconds that takes longer for you to like get back to a fight, makes you value that like player life a little bit more, where you're not just throwing yourself out into the open trying to blast anybody, right? So it's like that little bit of time just kind of makes you like play a little more reserved, maybe a little bit slower, and just kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
So think back to every single map you play in this game. You can almost fire at somebody when you walk one.
It changes how sweaty the game is. That and player movement.
1 second. Or sprint 1 second. That, to me, it's just not a fun experience to play that all the time. Yes, it's great to play it every once in a while, and that's kind of going to tie into my other point. The modes with maps, it's just, it
also takes out all strategy from the game. What's the point of having a strategy when it's like after a second of freaking spawning out, 2 seconds after spawning out, I'm already just like getting shot up or shooting somebody up, you know? It takes out all strategy from the game.
Gotta do something about this. The stake out the map that's super small, and it's always available 24/7. That map is literally the definition of TikTok in my head.
Yes.
People are just...
It's that damn TikTok brain, dude.
Playing it to grind their camos. They get them so quickly. And then I think when you get done camo grinding, you're like, okay, what exactly am I actually doing this for?
Yep.
Like I said,
there is no fun. It's all work. Call of Duty has turned into a game that is just grind and working. Zombies is, the multiplayer is, Warzone, whatever your skin is, you're trying to get. It's all just feels like work.
Black Ops 1, like it took you to the 4th.
Because it doesn't have any fun. This is something like last video we talked about, like Helldivers has that fun aspect in it, right? That community based, you know, hey guys, we're in this together to fight, you know, this planet or whatever, right? That community. Call of Duty has none of that. It's got very little fun.
14th prestige to get gold camo. So you were just playing the game. BO2, same way. Like, you just got it over time, but it took you longer because the maps were bigger. And how I'm tying this in is, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the day, back in my day, I've said that like 4 times this video.
Back in my day,
they would have these modes where it was like shipment 24/7, and it was for the weekend. It was like weekend warfare. Get
That's
on,
pretty
get
cool.
extra XP, rank your guns up, get those camos that you wanted to get. And it put like a little timer on it. You're like, oh my gosh, shipment's gonna be in the game for 24/7 for 2 days. I gotta play. And then guess what? It went away. And then it was back to the normal gameplay. Slowed down a little bit. You know, we're a little bit more strategy.
That's a good idea.
Involved. And that's going on with the brain rot design. Is there doesn't feel like there's any strategy in Black Ops 6. There feels like it's just sprint to the other side, fight.
That's what I said earlier.
Even
100%, it's just that quick, boom, 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 no strategy and anything.
on search and destroy, search and destroy was always that game mode where you were like, okay, let me chill here for a little bit. Let me go over here. Let me flank. Now it's like Black Ops 6 is just sprint to the other side and see how fast you can do it. And it loses that strategic gameplay that made Call of Duty great while still having that arcade design. It was still quick pace, but it was slow enough that it wasn't like a Rainbow Six or a Battlefield.
Yeah.
But it was still you still had to use your brain.
Call of Duty used to be the perfect speed for a casual player. It wasn't too slow to where it's like you have to like worry about dying, that you're like starting over. It's like, oh, it's gonna be another 5 minutes or 10 minutes or a whole loading screen before I can play again. Like Rainbow Six or Tarkov or whatever. It had that perfect speed for casual players.
Train. That's what I'm saying. And we just need to untrain the people to stop thinking in TikTok brain and start going back to the old school. I think
100% is correct.
did it the best. I know MW19 did a lot wrong, but I think of like pacing and the gameplay. I feel like that had a really good formula. Cold War similar as well. And even Modern Warfare 3. Like we've had ones that are like they're there, and then we try to get too crazy. And I think BO6 just went too crazy. And I think they even know that. So
I'm just not a fan of the Omni movement either. It just makes everything, it makes that paired with the quick spawn time to fighting time, makes it just so freaking like, it's unbearable.
It was kind of all over the place. Hopefully that made sense, but let's move on to the next point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I saved the best one for last because listen, if I would have done this first, half the audience probably would have clicked off. And that,
guys, don't click off, please.
We got to talk about skill-based matchmaking, okay? And I'm going to try to be as objective as I can with this. And I actually want to give a solution, and I think it's a good one. I do. We all know skill-based matchmaking seems to be plaguing the industry kind of every game. But here's the thing. It's not going away. They got their system in place. We have to wrap our brain around that. It is not going to go away. I hate to say it. I'd love to be at the forefront where it gets rid of it. But we've seen games try to kind of come into the scene. X-Defiant tried to kind of advertise no SBMM in our game, and unfortunately, it didn't do very well.
Still uses it.
Now, I think there are other factors, but that too. No content is one of them. But again, it doesn't work anymore. It seems like SBMM is here to stay. And there's a percentage of players that I think it really helps. You know, your brand new player, you don't want them to sign on to your game, get absolutely smoked.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, you know.
And leave the game because it's all about retention. And I get that.
Your first map has to be a 1v1 with 10 bots on each side.
I totally understand that, and I don't really like it because I'm
get you hooked and really in.
The way of thinking of, okay, if I suck at something, I want to get better at it. I don't want to quit, especially if I enjoy something. Like if I want to get better at, you know, baseball and I enjoy playing it, but I suck, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to get better at this. But I think that they want people to just stay and play no matter what. My way of thinking is if they don't like the game, they're going to quit anyway. So what does it matter? But I'm all over the place. I think you need to have it for a percentage of people, but
I think it needs to just be for newer players, right? You want skill-based matchmaking? Make it for your first like 15-ish matches. You know what I mean? Kind of like how you have to play a certain amount of games to get into ranked. You have to play a certain amount of games to get out of skill-based matchmaking.
I do think that there needs to be some sort of pool where as soon as you get into this wider pool, it needs to be a little bit more flowy. You need to get a little bit more ups and downs of players. There needs some bad and good. I tweeted this the other day and people had some similar thoughts. I got on Black Ops 6. I played 2 games. It was the sweatiest experience of all time. So I simply
Is anti-casual gameplay.
tweeted, either I'm in the strictest skill-based matchmaking bracket of all time, or there's not a single casual player left on this game.
That's probably true as well.
One of the two. And I got a lot of responses saying, hey, I watched my dad play this game. There's casuals on this game. So from my experience, I'm going to offer this suggestion. And I think they're going to probably do this. And I might get some crap in the comments for it. And I'm okay with that. But I think there needs to be a casual playlist. I think at this point,
That's a good idea
where the
too.
industry is going. Fortnite has bots. Warzone has bots. PUBG has bots. If I'm just going to want to chill and camo grind and kind of just listen to music or a stream, there needs to be a playlist, and I guarantee you it will be the most popular playlist on Black Ops 7 if they do
100%.
this. 3 real players, 3 bots.
Oh, what?
Simple enough.
I don't know if you really need bots in the game. Just make a casual playlist. No skill-based matchmaking. And maybe this unlocks after, because you know how much they love their skill-based matchmaking, right? Like you can't just rip it away from them, right? Because no one's gonna select a skill-based matchmaking if you have like ranked. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe just put the skill-based matchmaking like the first. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just fucking do away with it. Just keep ranked. For people who want to sweat, put them in ranked. And people who don't, put casual. Guarantee this would bring a huge player base back to the game.
You have a casual playlist just like they do it in Warzone. And that way, if you're a sweat like me, I don't actually try to sweat all the time. I want to go into a game and use a random off-meta weapon. Okay, that's what I want to do. But if I'm
I want to run around with my 1911.
against TikTok YY Demon Billy Bob, who's using the Jackal PDW Dark Matter, what am I gonna do? Go 8 and 50? It's like that's not
I want to
fun
pretend
for
like I'm
me,
John Wick.
But ranked would be a reward, and you get something good for ranking your player up. Kind of like a Halo system, Halo 3 system. All right, I want to briefly talk about this because I don't want to speak. I hate talking about this. I really do. It's the hacking situation. I want to be brief because I want to call a couple people out. And I'm not calling out any creators. I'm talking about people at home. Not everybody's hacking, bro. Okay? You may just suck at Call of Duty. Now, I'm also going to counterpoint yes, there are hackers in Call of Duty. There was somebody in the World Series of Warzone that just got hacked. That was hacking in the World Series, got kicked out. Okay? So it was just yesterday that I'm making this video. So you're right. There are hackers. You are right.
Look at
But not
this shit.
everybody's
That's
hacking.
crazy. Look at that hacking, bro.
I think if they could figure out a way to maybe revamp the anti-cheat, the ricochet system,
Look at
and really
this.
get
That's
into a
crazy.
spot where people like, okay, it's working decently enough that the trust is kind of coming back. And I think another thing too is this the culture shift in people. Dude, I remember dying to people in MW2 and Black Ops 1 and being just mind blown. I was like, that guy is so good at this game. I gotta send that guy a friend request.
Hell no, I'm saying a nasty message.
You're hacking. I mean, you go watch anybody. If they take somebody out, kill him, dude. The guy's screaming, "You're hacking!" Right? Instant reaction, you're screaming, he's hacking. And they have a reason to think like that because of how bad it was back in like 2019. I do think it's better now, but I think that there is still that doubt in people's mind. So you need to reassure them by revamping the anti-cheat. And also, this is a call out to the people saying everybody's hacking. You also need to reevaluate. You may not be that good. Okay? I'm sorry.
You're not that guy.
Somebody's gotta tell you that, man.
You're not that guy.
Everybody in life will realize at some point or the other, You know, if I go play basketball against NBA players, you got to wake up. I used to think I was going into the NBA. And then I played a team back in high school that half the team went to the NBA, and I said, yeah, I'm not going to the NBA. But I didn't say that they were cheating in basketball. No, they're just better. And if I wanted to get better, I could have. But I decided I'd rather play Call of Duty and still play basketball, but just play it at a more medium level. So some of y'all need to get better. But Call of Duty, I think you also need to fix the anti-cheat. There we go. Well, guys, that turned into 6 points. And the video went a little bit longer than I thought, but again, this is a rant.
It's all right. All good points.
This is a Call of Duty rant, but I think I also provided solutions. And if you're watching this from Call of Duty, I love your game. Do I play Black Ops 6 that much anymore? No, I've been playing World War II because I enjoy it. But I'm just a Call of Duty guy. I want to see the game thrive. I want to see the game. I want it to be cool to play Call of Duty again. Now it feels like Call of Duty is the opposite of cool. It's like, that dude plays Call of Duty. What a loser. Hey, listen, I'm a loser. It is what it is. But I hope if you are watching this at home, let me know if you think I missed anything. Let me know if you think I'm wild on any of these
you got
takes.
it really well.
If you're a dev, I would love to chat. I've been at the last couple COD Next, and you know, I feel like you can give feedback, but I'd love to give more. So if you ever want to reach out to me, dude. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. I'd love to chat. I really would. And I'd love to chat in a casual manner where I'm not just like, this game sucks, this game sucks. I want this game to thrive. So anyway, sorry for the rant, but I was excited to do this because I've never really done one on my channel.
I think dividing up Warzone, I think Warzone is a bulk of the problem, right? With the skins, everything like that. People who want to play as the skins, play as the skins on Warzone. Most of them do anyways. But make a basic Call of Duty, keep it centered in its time zone, the multiplayer centered in its time zone, right? Slow down the gameplay, keep Omni movement. And what the hell is this? Keep Omni movement. It's falling apart, guys. We're going off to a trail. We're off the tracks now. Keep Omni movement, keep all your high-speed movement and everything in Warzone, but take it back. Regular Call of Duty, multiplayer, everything, take it back to just slowing it down, back to formula, like Green Goblin. You know what I'm talking about? You do. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed the video. For those of you wondering, it's a serious talk about Call of Duty by Tdawgsmitty. I'll put the link in the description, y'all. Get your ticket, get on board. See y'all at the next station. Bye-bye.